Let's begin.
Hi, folks. Well, this week we are looking at one of the parables of Jesus. Do you remember what a parable is? It's one of those stories that Jesus would often tell his followers and his disciples that would kind of give a sense with just a few characters and a bit of a plot line of how they might more readily live their relationship with God and with one another. Well, I think that this parable is a really good one in terms of looking at the themes of greed and generosity. It starts off because somebody comes up to Jesus and says, listen, Jesus, you're a pretty wise guy. Can you come and help me deal with my brother who isn't sharing his inheritance with me? Well, Jesus responds to this by saying, listen, I'm not a judge and I'm not an arbitrator here. I'm not here to be able to help you out with your problems around wills and stuff like that. And then he goes on to tell this parable, this story about a very rich farmer who gets this amazing bumper crop. And instead of deciding to share some of the different parts of that bumper crop, Jesus says that this very rich farmer goes and decides to build an even bigger barn because the harvest is so big that he can't even fit everything in his barn. And then once the big barn is built, he thinks everything is going to be great. My soul is going to be happy, he says. I'm going to have great food. I'm going to party. It's going to be wonderful. And then that night, he finds out that that was actually the last day of his life, that he is about to meet death, and that all he did to save everything up like that without sharing it with anybody else was all for naught. Well, this is an interesting parable because at the end, Jesus says, listen, you folks need to reflect on this. And instead of thinking about how we're going to save everything up without thinking about anybody else, we need to think more about how we are going to be generous with God. Well, this is an important theme. What does it mean to be generous with God? Well, I would say that a lot of the time Jesus says that it's important to reach out to those people who are in need, those who are prisoners, those without food, those without clothing. And he goes as far as to say that actually when you are reaching out to people like that, you're actually reaching out to me. Well, we as Christians believe that Jesus is the presence of God incarnate in the flesh, in our world. And so really, when we are reaching out to those people who are in need, we're reaching out to God in Jesus' understanding of things. Well, I think that that's important for us to be able to focus on with our Sunday school. One of the cool things that gets pointed out in our curriculum this week is that really the expectation for many people in those ancient cultures was when you were incredibly rich and had all kinds of excess, you were supposed to share with those people who are most in need. So it's kind of shocking that this rich farmer didn't do that at all. So we want to be able to help our young people learn about what it means to be generous with God through reaching out to people who are most in need and having a sense that the basic principle of sharing is a really important one. I hope that this is helpful for you as a bit of an introduction for this week's Sunday school lessons. God bless, and I'll look forward to seeing you on Sunday. Bye.
Listen carefully.